yeah, like Pol Pot, Fidel Castro, like the Minions resurfaced in 1968, served a few people, and then went, hey, we're gonna go with Gru in modern day, but they live on Earth and they have history. Gru's the most evil guy. Who's the most evil person alive right now? Dude, they'd be serving like Kim Jong-un. They'd be serving some fucking dictator that's fucking starving their people. Like, get out of here. They're going to be serving Gru. I'm going to steal the moon. I'm going to steal the moon. Oh, really? That guy's chopping kids' heads off. Stealing the moon, chopping kids' heads off. What? What? I mean, maybe like, are the Minions looking at it at a utilitarian perspective where if Gru shrinks and steals the moon, that stops ocean tides and overall would turn into the like fucked rotation of Earth and kill all humans? Like, is he thinking? Are the Minions going like in depth right now to like, hey, if Gru steals the moon, the adverse effects of stealing the moon would result in the death of all humans? I feel like that would be like maybe where they're going.
Ice cave in the Arctic, the Minions trekked south into Soviet territory.
Wait, what?
From their ice cave in the Arctic, the Minions trekked south into Soviet territory. In St. Petersburg, they learned of Hitler from a Soviet newsreel while huddled inside a theater for warmth. The film warned of a power-hungry dictator threatening freedom and peace. The perfect traits for an evil master. When they reached Nuremberg, the Minions immediately knew they were in the right place. Posters with Hitler's face on it were plastered everywhere. Swastikas were hanging from every building. The streets were packed with cheering Germans. For them? No.
Wouldn't the Minions immediately just get clipped and murdered in World War II times? Because the army would just be like, who the fuck? Oh, wait, no, they're immortal. They can't die. They can't die. It's hypothetical? No, because they can't die. Minions canonically, I'm pretty sure, I don't think they reproduce. I think there's like a given number of them, but they're invincible, yeah.
They were in the middle of a military parade. The Minions are quickly arrested. While in prison, they caught the attention of Heinrich Himmler. Himmler was the head of the SS and deeply obsessed with the occult. He claimed that the master race came from Atlantis and believed that SS soldiers had reincarnated warrior souls. The Minions spent the next 18 months in—
He fucking believed that? Heinrich Himmler thought that the soldiers that were serving him had reincarnated souls from Atlantis. Like, I don't know which part of this is historical and which is like, you know, panning into, we're talking about the Minions here.
During Nazi experimentation and torture. After cruelty proved ineffective and vivisection impossible, attempts at communication were made. Picture cards and gestures eventually revealed the Minions' mission. Himmler made a phone call. Mein Führer, he said. I believe I have found the origin of the master race. Gain the favor of their emissaries, and the war is won. Hitler is skeptical, but the evidence from the Minion torture trials was indisputable. By now, the war was in full swing, and
Minion torture trials? What, so they started fucking, like, cutting up the Minions and they just had no reaction? I always assumed a Minion would be like elastic. Like, you could kind of punch you could grab a Minion and squeeze it to like a compressed cube and let go, and it would just like right back to what it looked like prior. Like they can't, you can't cut it, like their skin's impierceable, you could shoot them, nothing would happen. They're kind of like rubber creatures. Put subtitles on, hard of hearing, okay, yes, I will put subtitles on for this video.
Nazi forces had experienced their first major defeat at the Battle of Britain. They had to exploit any possible advantage. And so, the Minions became Hitler's constant companions. While living at Hitler's residence—
I mean, honestly, if we're really going into, like, the canonical abilities of Minions, if you have the Minions on your side, you physically can't lose. Like, you couldn't stop a Minion.
Residents, the Minions were subjected to a constant stream of Nazi wartime propaganda, which they understood as movie nights. They'd get fitted for tiny uniforms, and soon literally be marching in lockstep. They deliver speeches at rallies and feel the rush of the loyal, ecstatic crowd's adoration.
I'm gonna say, though, like, Aren't the minions more serving of evil masterminds that kind of have, like, idiotic ideas? Like, I'm going to destroy the sun! Not, I want to eradicate an ethnic group of people. You know? Like, I don't think the minions would really get behind the vibe of Adolf Hitler. Just off of my watching of, you know, Despicable Me 1, 2, 3. I don't think that I think they would see what's going on and then go, ugh. I don't know.
They toured the country, accompanying Hitler to demonstrations of the latest.
Stealing the moon was idiotic. Yes. That's like a kid's idea of something that's evil. Like, that's the minions serve childish evil ideas. Like, if you asked a 5-year-old, like, what's something really evil? They'd be like, I'm gonna eliminate soda. Which would actually probably benefit society, you know? Like, they would say something stupid like that, because it's a kid's movie and the minions are dumb, right? The 5-year-old isn't gonna be like, well, I would get rid of this group of people.
Wunderwaffen, like Heavy Gustav, the largest gun ever fired, even to this day.
They served Napoleon, true.
It shot shells the weight of 2 pickup trucks at targets over 20 miles away. It was pure catnip for the minions, who were seeing a fully mechanized superweapon for the first time. That night, the minions came to a consensus. They would contact their people and introduce them to their Fuhrer. It was during a demonstration of a futuristic jet fighter that Stuart's eye began to open. Bored with the technical details, he wandered off, away from the spotless showroom full of sycophantic Nazi scientists. He opened a door to the production line and was hit with a wave of hot, acrid air. Rows of haunted eyes looked up at him from dirty, gaunt faces. They were forced laborers, brought in from occupied territory. Stuart's heart plummeted. Was this the fate that awaited his kin? These men weren't minions, they were slaves. German guards descended on them with their cudgels, and Stuart could bear no more. He looked away. The other minions were reluctant to believe what Stuart had seen. Worse, Bob began to defend Hitler's actions. He was young, impressionable, his head full of ideas like patriotism and loyalty. Stuart begged the others to flee with him, but Bob refused, and Kevin wouldn't leave him behind. During a state dinner, Stuart slipped away and hid inside a shipping crate destined for Poland.
I can't believe I'm actually watching this right now. Like, can I say, this is like, I'm really trying to, like, get my head into this verse right now. But it's like, he's sitting there going, Bob's trying to defend Hitler's ideologies, but Stuart, on the other hand, really just wants him to be a part of the team.
The next few days moved quickly. Kevin and Bob spent their days in Hitler's war room. The Nazis were planning a surprise invasion of the Soviet Union, with a secondary goal of making contact with the minions still waiting in the ice cave. They'd follow German troops as far north as Leningrad, then travel with a specialized detachment equipped to traverse the Arctic expanse. All that was needed was for Kevin to point out the ice cave on the map. He hesitated, just for a moment, but Hitler noticed. Back at Hitler's home, he invited Kevin into his study. He commended Kevin's bravery for going on this mission, which will bring the yellow Wunderwolf to the forefront of the Nazi war effort.
And keep in mind, half of this conversation is... right? You have Hitler trying to communicate with a fucking minion right now, and he's just going banana as a response.
Unfortunately, he says with sudden menace, Bob will not be joining you. He'll stay here, right by my side. Do you understand? Kevin understood. Bob would serve as collateral to make sure Kevin completed the mission.
Collateral for what? You can't kill Bob. They're invincible. They're like rubber. They have the gum power. You can't fucking hurt them. You can't threaten. What do you mean? What, so he's saying, oh, I'm gonna if you don't complete this mission, Bob's gonna get it. Bob's gonna get what?
Meanwhile, Stuart came out of his crate and into a nightmare. The Warsaw Ghetto saw nearly 500,000 Jews crammed into an area hardly bigger than 1 square mile. Nazis distributed less than 200 calories per day, with the intention of creating mass starvation. Most of the food was smuggled, and this was how Stuart proved his loyalty to the Jewish resistance. When the true purpose of the Nazi resettlement program became clear, the resistance prepared for battle. Soon, Stuart was smuggling more than food. Weapons, fuel, anything that could help the resistance. He became known as the Yellow Golem, after the tireless servant.
He could just kill Hitler! What the fuck are we talking about? This guy made an entire fucking movie. Bro, he's literally right next to him at all times. He could just fucking shoot him. What do you mean? He's like inadvertently like he's doing like all smuggling and helping people. Bro, just fucking kill him.
When SS forces entered the ghetto, they were prepared. Victory was impossible, but at least this way they could go out on their own terms. In the ensuing uprising, Stuart led an effort that smuggled dozens of civilians to safety, then threw himself into battle. He burned out a German tank with just gasoline and a cigar. But in the end, the Nazis razed the ghetto to the ground. Stuart was ready to die with his fellow partisans, but at the last possible moment he was smuggled out, and into the hands of American intelligence. Now at Leningrad, long-range air...
The American intelligence chloroformed fucking Stuart. What, and brought him to Alamo to help build the nuclear bomb? Where is this story going? Where's this story going? He's gonna go meet Oppenheimer?
Craft with skis were prepared for their one-way mission. Kevin noticed weapons being loaded, and explosives. It was only then that he began to realize the true extent of his collaboration. And his people, his innocent, naive kin, would pay the price. He thought of Bob and felt a welling of...
Kin? They're their kids? How do they fuck? How does a minion reproduce? It's budding. We had a whole conversation about this the other day. It has to be like budding. How does a minion reproduce? Minions don't reproduce in a normal way. They're essentially immortal beings that evolved from single-cell organisms at the dawn of time, with their numbers remaining relatively consistent through history, though some theories movie moments like Stuart turning into a chicken and laying an egg suggest unusual asexual methods of just poofing them into existence. They don't reproduce sexually or asexually. Their numbers don't grow or shrink significantly. Well, they wouldn't grow or shrink at all. They're all male. Well, they don't have penises. Why? If they can't reproduce sexually or asexually, what is the point of them having a sex? They're just minions.
They flew until the plane's tanks were run dry. When they landed, the commandos began to cannibalize the aircraft.
How do they pee? I don't know if they eat, dude. I've only ever seen them eat bananas. I've only ever seen them eat bananas. I don't even know if they eat the bananas. I feel like they just like bananas because they're yellow. I don't like where. I don't know. I need more info about minions before we go further.
The mood was grim. They had no means of return or resupply. They had to rely on the word of a minion that there would be anything at all at the location. Worse yet, a strong headwind meant they landed short. They estimated a 2 weeks trek to the cave. Kevin led them there, hating himself the whole time. He ate his last banana and thought of the absurdity
They eat bananas.
of a tropical fruit in the frozen Arctic. It took even longer than anticipated.
Kevin was pondering the absurdity of a tropical fruit in an Arctic area. Really?
Almost 4 weeks in the end. When they arrived, the commandos were half-starved. They were ready to descend on the minion village and loot it for anything edible, even minion flesh. In order to prevent mutiny, the commando leader held a gun to his second-in-command and executed him in cold blood. Kevin is sent into the ice cave alone. To be reunited with the others after all he experienced felt joyous at first, but it gave way to a deep gulf of pain and separation. The past few years left him utterly changed compared to the naive minion he was nearly 4 years ago. He took the podium and spoke of what he had
Yeah, how simple life was when they used to just serve a T-Rex.
seen and done. He warned against blind devotion to a charismatic leader, the end result of hate.
And then they all go, ah, papaya, papa boy. They all understand what he's saying.
Then he explained their present situation. He begged for forgiveness and rallied the minions together. When they emerged from the ice cave to greet the Nazis, they were armed. Their resistance was met with machine guns and rifles. It was shaping up to be a massacre, but the minions would no longer bend to tyrants. Suddenly, the commandos noticed a cloud of ice on the horizon, approaching faster than possible. At its center, a yellow speck. It was Stuart, but he was completely transformed. American scientists augmented him in an accelerated version of the Mega Minions program from Despicable Me 4. The order was given to fire.
I haven't seen Despicable Me 4.
But Mega Stuart was there. Bullets bounced off of his rocky yellow hide as he worked himself into a frenzy. The SS commandos could do nothing as Mega Stuart sadistically killed them, the horrors of Warsaw fresh in his mind. The leader took Kevin hostage and revealed the detonator to a bomb. He threatened to collapse the ice cave. They were standing on its roof. Mega Stuart simply reached out his arm.
They can't die! What?
Don't step any further. Don't step any further or Bob gets it.
Bob gets what?
Ripped the Nazi's mind to shreds.
What?
Mega Stuart simply
What?
I've seen plenty of power banks over my 15 years of reviewing tech, but this Ridge one quickly became a favorite. So this, a 10,000 milliamp hour battery that's already this small, is pretty clutch, but it's also pretty loaded.
Don't step any further or Bob gets it.
Bob gets what?
ripped the Nazi's mind to shreds.
What?
Mega Stuart simply reached out his arm and ripped the Nazi's mind to shreds. In seconds, he relived every atrocity he ever committed.
Step any further. Don't step any further or Bob gets it.
Bob gets what?
Ripped the Nazi's mind to shreds.
What?
Mega Stuart simply reached out his arm and ripped the Nazi's mind to shreds. In seconds, he relived every atrocity he ever committed with such intensity his brain cooked like an egg. Several months later, Kevin effectively became the leader of the Minions, and they began construction of an impenetrable ice fortress around the cave. Minions
The Pentagon!
proved to be far more isolationist in this timeline, and the next time they exposed themselves to humanity, they would be prepared. One morning, Kevin walked in on Stuart putting on his super suit. "It's time to say goodbye," Stuart
Oh, I thought that was just his body.
explained. His American handlers needed his help on the Pacific Front, and he was duty-bound. Years later, Stuart testified at the Nuremberg
I wonder how Stuart's gonna feel about the Vietnam War in the coming years.
trials. They showed all that remained of Hitler's body,
What do you think his response is gonna be there?
just a burnt jawbone found in a bombed-out crater. On the slide, Stuart noticed the remains of a pair of goggles, cracked and blackened by heat. That was all that was left of Bob as well, he realized with mounting horror. Poor Bob, sweet, innocent Bob. It seemed he had stayed by Hitler's side throughout his final days in the Führer bunker, although rumors of a yellow creature spotted in Argentina persisted for decades. The Cold
Bob fled to Argentina to live out Nazi ideologies in a German community in South America.
War began. Stuart played an instrumental role for American intelligence. He worked alongside the supervillain known as the Bald Terror, who would later prove to be the father of one Felonious Gru. Spy satellites revealed plutonium production complex at the Minion Autonomous Oblast. But all that happened in Minions 2, Cold War. While researching this video, I was actually able to find Bob's goggles on eBay. I bought them, I couldn't resist, and I went and put them on my shelf. I can't wait to see what else goes up here. If you like this, you'll probably like my next video too, which I'm calling I Get $1 Million, but I'm hunted by a genius gorilla for life. I'm trying to make these videos dollars, but I'm hunted by a genius gorilla for life. I'm trying to make these videos
I gotta subscribe to Mitchell Sack, bro. This guy is fucking. What video is he making? Oh my god, hunted by genius gorilla for life. He just posted that 2 hours ago. Bro, he only has 3 videos. Oh my god. Thriving internet theory. This one from a goofy idea based on a meme to a genius alternate history thriller. Top 10 debut video. What if Mossad kidnapped Bob from Argentina to go on trial? Must be the sequel to this. The Minions served Pharaoh, Dracula, Napoleon, three figures responsible for innumerable deaths and enslavement. They would find absolutely zero issues with Hitler's atrocities. Yeah, I mean, like, aren't they effectively just... I mean, that's if we're going... Like, I'm just basing how I perceive Minions, how they act and how they think off of their interactions with Gru. But if you're going off of the Minion movie and how they... and who they've, you know, like, served previously, they would technically be fine with anything that anyone did. But how do you think they would find the most evil person? After him, it's like, now there's just a handful of people that are like serial killers, dictators. I feel like it has to be in a utilitarian perspective of like, who's doing the most evil worldwide? All right, I gotta piss real quick, then we're gonna... I look like that kid that's sick from like the Campbell's soup ads. Like, I don't know how to describe it.
Oi, grown up, save some water for us. Let's save water.
Swing through the trees with me tonight, my darling, flow in the breeze.
Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody flooding in. How is everybody doing on this fantastic fucking Sunday? I hope you had a good break. Looks like you got tan. Chat, do I look tan? I think I look tan. I'm going to get way more tan on the second one. All right, let's get into the goddamn stories, chat. Are y'all ready? Lock in here. Number one, do y'all know where I went? I have to explain that first. Where did I go? I went to an all-inclusive resort in Playa del Carmen, Mexico. I was in Mexico for about, 6 days or 5 days? I didn't go to Wyoming. No, that was like a month ago. And it was an all-inclusive resort. Basically what that means is you pay a lump sum of money, and when you're there, everything's included, right? So the food is free, the alcohol is free, the drinks are free. Most stuff is free, right? Because you pay a lump fee, and then when you're there, you just get everything, right? The flight there was fine. The flight back was horrible. But I'll explain that. I'm going to explain the story in order. So we pull up, and the first day we're there, we land, and we get there. I wake up at 2 a.m., by the way. I have to explain this. I get up at 2 a.m. to get on this flight, right? Because the flight takes off at like 6 international flights. You have to get there early as fuck, right? So the flight takes off, we land, blah, blah, blah. We're sitting on the tarmac for fucking an hour or whatever. It takes off, we land, good shit. We get to the resort. I'm fucking starving. I haven't eaten in 7 fucking hours. I'm pissed. Like, I'm in the resort in a bad mood, right? Because I'm hungry as shit. I'm like, let's go eat. Dude, for the people saying lag, actually shove a fist up your ass, right? This whole thing, elbow up, right? For the idiots that are saying lag, it's not lagging. Your Wi-Fi just fucking sucks. Pringles can, up the ass. We go eat. We go to a buffet. I order a bunch of food. I'm chilling. I'm happy as fuck. I look to my right. My friend has already macked 4 margaritas. I've ordered 1 mojito. I sit down. I say, what's my first drink? I'm in Mexico. Let me get a fucking mojito. You don't know what a mojito is. It's like a minty fucking drink. Tastes good as fuck, right? My friend's 5 margs in. And I'm like, you wanna like do something? Like, what do you mean? Like he's like sitting there. He's drunk as fuck already. We're at lunch. And he's like, I'm gonna take a nap. I'm like, no way you just pull up to Mexico, down 5 margaritas and fall asleep. So he goes and lays down. I end up taking a fucking 30-minute power nap as well because I'm dead tired. Because I didn't sleep on the plane because I'm sitting upright in a JetBlue flight. Fucking legs right next to each other. The woman next to me smelled rancid. Let me tell you that, by the way. I hope she doesn't see this. I mean, she was like 40, so I doubt she smelled like mildew. She smelled like mold. I don't know why she smelled bad, but she did. And I thought it was me at one point. And I'm like, because I'm wearing a tank top, I end up going like this. Like mid-flight when she's looking the other way. I'm like, I don't even smell. It's her. She has to get up to the bathroom 4 fucking times. That pisses me the fuck off. But I understand it because she's sitting window seat and I'm sitting middle and Brooke's sitting aisle and she needs to get by us. So she's like, can I get up? And I wake up Brooke, and Brooke gets like a little upset with me. I'm like, it's not my fault. I ended up taking my first shit on a plane too. Let me tell you how that went. Oh my God, I'm jumping all over the place. Rewind to when we took the flight there. I didn't shit in the morning because I woke up at 2 a.m. So I'm on the flight, and I have to take a fucking shit, right? And I take 30-minute poops. So I'm trying to time this out because I don't want to poop on a plane because, number one, it's uncomfortable. Number two, there's like 2 bathrooms on a plane for like 200 people. So then other people are going to be waiting for me. So I'm like waiting near the end of the flight, and I get like a good time slot to go take a dump, right? And I shit, and my knees are pressing against the door, and I'm sweating. And all I'm thinking about is, oh my God, somebody needs to take a shit or use the bathroom, and they're waiting outside, and they're gonna be waiting for me. So I'm like panicking, and I'm just trying to shit as fast as possible, and I'm wiping my ass. And let me tell you, that toilet paper was tearing up my ass. Tearing up my ass. That shit wasn't even 1 ply. That fucking JetBlue toilet paper had to been half ply. That was like sandpaper. I had to pull half the fuck. I might as well just grab the roll and wipe my ass. That's fine. I get off. Oh my God. I had a bacterial infection too. I forgot about that. There's so many stories. This is going to take an hour. All right. Let me just go in order. I'm jumping all over the place. I had a bacterial infection. I was shitting my brains out while I was there. That was the only bad part of being in Mexico. It was something. I don't know what I had. I had something. I was shitting water for like 3 days. It was bad, right? That was unenjoyable. That made the trip a bit worse. But you know, I tried to hustle through it, right? Anyways, let me get through the story. We land, we eat lunch. My friend's drunk as fuck, takes a nap. I bounce up. I go down to the pool bar. We start drinking and shit. We go eat dinner. And at dinner, how the dinners work is there's a menu, but you can order whatever the fuck you want, however many times you want. So even though it's all inclusive, you're still allowed to order like 5 orders of chicken or 5 orders of shrimp, right? And so my friend sees raw bar. A raw bar is like oysters, clams, raw shrimp, shit like that. And he's like, I'm gonna fuck up this raw shrimp. He orders 2 raw bars. Right? 2 orders. They pull up the shrimps, because we're in Mexico. They have the heads and the legs still on them. Like they're just dead shrimp, right? They're not. He orders like 2 orders of fucking dead, and they're not peeled, right? They're not peeled. They're not ready to eat, right? You have to do it yourself. They're just dead shrimp that are just like on ice, right? And they hand them to him, and he's like cutting into them, and like the blood on like the head of them is getting all over him, and he's so upset. And I'm watching my friend try and eat this shrimp, right? And it gets to the point, and let me tell you, like, it depended the worker, right? But some of the workers had better English than others. And he ends up not really eating the shrimp. He eats like a few of the clams and like maybe the octopus that was on it. And the guy comes back and he goes, "Do you like this shrimp?" Like trying to say like, I don't like this shrimp, right? Like, do you like this shrimp? And the guy goes, "Let me go ask." And my friend goes, "What do you mean? Like, I asked you," and he's already gone, right? And so we're sitting there like, what does he mean, let me go ask? Like, who are you? You're going to ask someone if you like shrimp? He comes back with 50 of them on a fucking plate. He originally brought out like 5 shrimp, 5 clams, and like 5 octopus. He comes back with a bowl of fucking dead shrimp for this man to eat. And my friend goes, and he's watching this man to eat. And my friend goes, and he's watching him, and he pours like this weird fucking, like dry, like he pours like water on dry ice or something, and it makes like this cool cloud. And he goes, and then he walks away. And my friend's like, what the fuck? And so he like, now he has to waste the food, right? Because he didn't want any of it. But he's like, do you like shrimp? The guy thought he wanted more shrimp. And my friend has a whole bowl of dead shrimp that he didn't want to eat. Then we go to the lobby bar. And one of my friends can drink a lot. And we're going to get to the nightclub. They had a nightclub on the island, right? Or not the island, on like Playa del Carmen, right? On the resort. And we're going to get to that story in a second. But just to preface this, one of my friends, when he drinks an absurd amount of alcohol. He's also like 6'5", and doesn't really get drunk quick. But to put it into perspective, here's his drinks. These are called mini beers. This is a picture. It's liquor 43, so this is a shot, not beer, and cream. This is his shots, right? I took like 3. He took like the rest. And it ends up getting pretty hectic, but that's just to put that in perspective for how the drinking starts. We go to the lobby bar. We have a few shots, few drinks, go to the karaoke bar, and then everybody goes to bed that night because we're kind of tired still, right? Wake up the next day. This is where shit gets bad. We start the day working out, right? I get up at 7:30 in the morning. Your boy normally wakes up at like noon, but I'm like, I'm not wasting my fucking vacation. I'm going to get up early and I'm going to go lift. I'm lifting and I'm so hungover. Like, I'm lifting and I'm sweating, and it's like the alcohol sweats where it's like I feel like shit. And once we're done, I just start ordering fucking margaritas, mojitos. We start playing pool volleyball. I get sunburned as fuck. Forgot to put sunscreen on. We just start drinking, right? Because, like, we're there, and the alcohol is free. So you might as well get your money's worth because you paid the fucking lump sum to go to the resort. And I can order an unlimited amount of alcohol. Let me just start fucking drinking. That day goes pretty normal. We go to dinner, and then we go to the nightclub that night. And before we go to the nightclub, my friend, who can't get a Nick stick, is fiending for cigarettes. Nicotine or Nick sticks are apparently illegal in Mexico, and he didn't know that. He does a lot of Nick, right? One of my friends has Zins, and he's packing Zins and shit. My friend wants to smoke, right? And so he's trying to find cigarettes. I wanted to find a cigar to smoke one cigar. I ended up smoking one cigar, but it took like a bit to find it. But that was like the third night. But he really wants to find cigarettes. So we're like going on a mad goose chase across this entire resort to find my friend Marlboro Reds, right? And he gets them. And then we go to the nightclub. People are saying El Mexico because they don't have fucking Nick sticks. We end up going to the nightclub that night. And the nightclub is fucking Star Wars themed. And they had Minecraft playing on the TV. You can't see it through the smoke. There's Minecraft caves on the screen. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, why the fuck is there Minecraft videos playing on the fucking screen at a goddamn nightclub? And there's fucking a stormtrooper just standing there. I'm like, well, I turn to the guy. I'm like, what the fuck is there Minecraft? He doesn't understand me. And he's like, what? And I'm like, the game, Minecraft. And he's like, ugh. And he's standing, staring at me. I'm like, okay, whatever. They just play Minecraft music at the club. It just didn't make sense. But we're at the nightclub. And we get there. And this was the night that everybody drank the most, which was the second night. My friend, who drinks a lot, pulls up, and there's about 15 of us. And he says, let me get 15 shots. Let me get 15 green tea shots, right? They pull out the 15 shots. He hands out 7 and takes the rest. He drinks 8 shots. 8 shots. He orders 15 for 15 people. He drinks 8. And I go, and I've seen for 15 people. He drinks 8. And I go, and I've seen him drink, right? But I've never seen him do that. And I ask him, I'm like, are you going to be okay? Like, why did you just do that, right? And he goes, yeah, I'm fine. And then he orders like 15 Malibu shots and takes 8. And I tap him. I'm like, yo, you just took like 16 shots. Like, are you going to be, like, you're not going to black out, right? Like, you're going to be fine? And he's like, yeah. He just keeps doing it, right? We're there the whole time. And we wanted to go to the casino that night. Turns out they didn't have a casino. L in the chat for Mexico real quick. Or for that resort, rather. They didn't have a casino. I ended up meeting this kid that recognized me. Or half recognized me. He knew me the day before. He's like, you look mad familiar. And I'm like, I do TikTok. And he goes, oh, shit. So he didn't really know who I was, but he, like, saw me before. We end up hanging out with him. And he starts smoking cigarettes with my friend. And I go, oh, boy, this is going to be a night. This is going to be a fucking night. And we're sitting there. We're drinking a lot. We end up going back about, like, 1 a.m. And I find this wooden horse And I'm like really drunk. I don't even really want to show this photo. But I end up like taking 15 minutes to get on top of this horse. And you can kind of tell I look defeated. But like, I'm sitting on this horse. I probably shouldn't have sat on it, because if this broke, this would have been a hefty penny for me to pay for them to fix it. But I don't know why I wanted it. I thought I would post it on Instagram, but I'm like not even looking at the camera, and I'm like, my eyes are closed. Anyways, we end up getting a golf cart back, and my friend goes to the bar and just keeps drinking more. I don't see him the rest of the night because I go pass out. We wake up the next day, and I'm like really hungover. I didn't really drink that day at all. But that day, I'm in like a bad mood, right? Because when you're hungover, you just kind of feel like shit. We're eating lunch, and while we're eating lunch, I leave my shit on like these beds, right? That we like claimed. And I come back, and this Karen comes up to me and goes, "You're gonna need to move your stuff." Like that. "You're gonna need to move your stuff." And I said, "Lady, I've had my stuff here for 9 fucking hours. I've been here since 9 a.m. I've been here, right? This is my stuff." And she says, "Well, my stuff's right here." Okay? And it was the one next to mine. But I'm assuming she also wanted to claim the one that had none of her shit on it, but it was right next to me, right? I'm like, fuck you, right? I didn't say that, but I was like pissed. And then her boyfriend starts walking up behind her. Keep in mind, this dude looks like the epitome of a worm. I'm like, yeah, what are you gonna fuck? What are you gonna fucking do, dickhead? Like, I'm not even being a dick to your girl. She's telling me to move my shit. What are you gonna fucking back her up? He's like 5'5" and like 110 pounds, pale as fuck. I'm pale. He's even more pale than me. This man hasn't seen light in fucking 3 months. And he's gonna come yell at me to move my shit. That pissed me off. That was like the only bad interaction I had with somebody the whole day. Actually, no. There was another man, and he was like chill the first day, right? I saw him the first day where we were there. He was in like American pants, like American like bathing suit pants, and he was talking to us. And he was like, "Yeah, my wife's pregnant. We're here on vacation." And he was drinking. She obviously couldn't because she was pregnant. He like we see him, and I'm like, I'm not gonna see him the rest of the trip. I'm like, good shit, man. Have a good day. After the night at the club, oh my God, I forgot this. After the night at the club, we go back to my friend's room, and he's there wearing a Dunder Mifflin shirt in my friend's room. And I'm like, I haven't seen you in like 9 hours. Like, how are you here? Like, I don't know if it was because I was that drunk, but like he's there, and he's wearing a Dunder Mifflin shirt in our room. I'm like, I barely know your name. I think his name was like Tommy or something like that. Sort of with a T. Timmy, Tommy, Trey, something like that. I don't know. He was nice, but I was like, how the fuck are you? And he was like 35. He was like 35, 40. My group, outside of the kid that recognized me was like 19. But it was like 19 to 25 was like our group. I was like, man, you're like way older than us. It's not even like a 5-year age gap. You're like 20 years older than us, almost, right? Like you have a wife that's pregnant. And I didn't say that. My girlfriend, Brooke goes, "You know, we're actually ordering food. This is kind of a family time." In like a nice way to kind of say like, fuck off. And he goes, and he gets mad. He goes, "Oh, I know when I'm not welcomed." And then he storms out. And I'm like, what the fuck? And he leaves, and they shut the door. I'm like, when did he get into this room? Like, how long has this man been with us? I didn't see him at the nightclub. I didn't see him at the bar. And they were like, oh, he was dancing with us at the karaoke bar. I was like, what? I was like, we were at the karaoke bar for 5 minutes. And he followed us back, and he said one of my friends invited him. The one that was drinking so many shots. The one that had like 30 shots in a fucking night. I said, oh, of course. My friend invited him back to the room. We don't know him. Why is he in your room? Next day goes by. I want to go fucking kayaking. The seas are rough, right? When I say rough, I mean like 3-4 foot waves. I go up to the kayaking guy. I say, buddy, how much is it for like 8 kayaks? He goes, we can't go kayaking. I said, why the hell not? I said, I can't go kayaking. I'm going to go kayaking. He said, the waves are too rough. I said, pal, I could handle those fucking waves. He said, oh, well, we had a group come out at 10 a.m. and somebody fell off. I said, okay, well, they're not Joe Bart, all right? Somebody fell off the fucking kayak. That's their fucking problem, okay? Right? Like, get me on the fucking... He said, I can't get you on the kayak. He said, I can maybe get you on the jet ski. I said, yeah, I got to pay for the fucking jet ski, pal. He said, I can maybe get you on the jet ski. I said, how much is the jet ski? He's like, $50. I'm like, all right, well, I can't I said, can I go on the jet ski right now? He said, maybe later. I said, then what the fuck are you telling me I could go on the goddamn jet ski? I get mad, right? I'm getting mad. I want to go fucking kayaking. I've been wanting to go kayaking since day one. Can't go kayaking. Waves are too rough. Also, side note, I'm going all over the place on this story. While we're in Mexico, there's seaweed everywhere. And when I say seaweed everywhere, I don't mean like a little bit of seaweed. I mean like a massive problem of seaweed. Like this is what this is what it looked like. Like this isn't the resort I was at, but it looked like this. Like there's just seaweed everywhere. And I'm like, why is there I end up walking up to a guy and I'm like, why is there fucking seaweed everywhere? And he goes, oh, you don't know? And I go, what the fuck do you mean I don't know? And I'm like, I can't even swim in the water. I was like, it's that bad. And he's like, yeah. He said in some country, it was either Brazil or something. I don't remember what he said, but it was some country. He said they dumped tons of fertilizer into the ocean, and there's a mound of seaweed the size of Georgia floating through the Caribbean. And I said, I'm just now finding out about this. And he said, yeah. I was like, is this going to go away? He said, no, it's going to be here for like weeks. I said, oh, fucking shit. The 1 week I'm in fucking Mexico. So I went into the ocean like one time. I went on the beach a bunch, but I was like, I went into the pool when I wanted to go in the water. Because, dude, it was like, you couldn't even walk. There was that much seaweed in the fucking water. It was disgusting. That night, right after I bitch about kayaking, we go drink at the karaoke bar. I go to use the bathroom. And let me tell you, chat, I had a conundrum. And before I tell you about my conundrum, I'm going to show you the photos of the bathroom signs. This is the woman's bathroom. This is the men's bathroom. Okay? They're very similar. That's the women's bathroom, and that's the men's bathroom, right? It doesn't say men, women, doesn't say hermano, hermana. It says, it's just a very clear stick figure. And one has like a straight down circle or a straight down like little circle-esque thing. And the other is more diagonal, right? Now, this is when I have my shit problem, right? Like a massive shit problem. I think it was either the water I drank or something I ate. I couldn't retain water. I was just shitting. Like I shit one day like 12 times. And I couldn't stop pooping. And I'm drunk as fuck. And I'm like, I have to take a shit. And so I walk into what I believe is the men's bathroom, right? I do one of these, and I go, and I look at the sign, and I walk in, right? And I'm not going to the urinal, so I don't see no damn urinal. The bathroom's empty. No one's in the bathroom. I walk into the stall, and I start taking a shit. About 5-10 minutes pass. I'm still alone. I hear the door open. I'm like, oh, a guy has to take a shit. Somebody knocks on the door. I go, I'm in here. And I hear, oh, okay. Oh, okay. And I go. And it's just like, and I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm trying to reason, right? I'm like, maybe that was just a high-pitched man. Or maybe they're in the wrong bathroom. And I'm like, there's no way they're in the wrong bathroom. And so I wipe my ass, and I'm like, I need to get the fuck out of here. I walk out, there's a woman standing there, like at the sink. And I go, and I put my hands up. I go, is this the woman's bathroom? And she goes, yes. And the woman in the stall goes, yeah. And I go, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I run out of the bathroom. And the husband is waiting for the wife. And he starts dying laughing when he's looking at me. And I'm like, what? And he goes, I did the same thing yesterday. And I'm like, that's the woman's bathroom, right? And he goes, yeah. He said, I had no idea. Because they look exact. He said, I did the same thing yesterday. He said, my wife saw me walk out of the women's bathroom yesterday. I had no idea. I'm like, there's no fucking way. Dude, because they don't have anything on this fucking sign. It's just this. It's this and this. Dude, it's a stick figure. With a fucking, like this and like that. Like a little fucking differentiation. Like I'm gonna notice that at 1 a.m. I'm trying to take a shit. I'm running into the bathroom. I didn't see any women in there because the bathroom was empty. I'm taking a shit. I hear a knock on the door, and I hear a woman's voice when I say, I'm in here. And I go, oh my fucking God, I need to get out of this bathroom. And I walk back to my friends, and they're like, did you walk into the women's bathroom? I'm like, yeah. And they were like, okay, I did something similar. I'm like, there's no way you did something fucking similar. And they were like, I walked in yesterday. Shit was annoying the fuck out of me. Anyways, that passes by, and then we're on the last night, right? No, it was that night, actually. I get a knock on my door at 3:30 in the morning. I went to bed at like 12:30, right? I get a knock on my door at 3:30 in the morning, and I go, what the actual fuck? And I stand up, and I'm like, dude, who the hell is at my door? I look through the little, like, what is it called? The little hole in a hotel room. Is it called a peephole? Whatever it is, right? The looking glass through the hole, right? To see who's out there. It's some dude with fucking room service. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I end up just leaving. Like, I don't even open the door. If 5 minutes go by, he knocks again. And I open the door, and I go, hello? And he goes, hola, did you order room service? I said, no. And he goes like, and he checks his list with the room number, and he's like, I'm sorry, I must have the wrong room number. And it's 3:30 in the morning. And I looked at, dude, he had like soup and like salad and like chili. And I'm like, who's ordering this at 3:30 in the morning? I closed the door. The next morning, we're at breakfast. All of us are at breakfast. I'm talking to my friends. And all of us, I'm in a room with Brooke, and then there's 4 of my other friends in 2 different rooms, right? So we're in 3 different rooms. I'm talking to my friends, and one of my other friends is like, yeah, we also got room service at 3 a.m. I was like, that's weird. And we're sitting there, we're just talking about it. A day goes by. The next night, my friend goes, I ordered that to your room. And I'm like, what? And he said, yeah, I ordered pumpkin soup and like chili and sorbet to your room. He's like, it was fucking hilarious. And he was like, did you hear the guy drop? Because when the guy left, he dropped the whole cart. Like, I closed the door on him, and he's like, I'm sorry. And then as he's walking away, all of the plates just fall. Like, I didn't watch it happen, but you can hear just plates just smacking the ground. And he's like, I was in the room next to you just dying. And I was like, oh, shit. I had no idea. Then he ordered more room service to my friend's room. That next night, after he told me, we're trying to order burgers to our room, right? Because everything's closed, and it's like midnight. And we're all hungry as fuck. And so we order 8 burgers to one room to eat together. And my girlfriend, Brooke, can't eat cheese, right? And they're cheeseburgers. So we have to write in the comments, no cheese, right? But since there's a language barrier, especially with, like, some of the cooks, you have to write in Spanish what you want, right? And so my friend, who's drunk, trying to write no cheese on the burger, and I take a picture of this, writes no queso on uno burgero and sends it. And who would have guessed they put cheese on the burger? Who would have guessed cheese came on the burger? Because this is just not Spanish. And no queso on uno burgero. And the guy at the bar is watching my friend read this, and he's fucking cracking up. And I'm trying to tell my friend, I'm like, that's not Spanish. And he's just like, who gives a fuck? They'll get it. And he sends it. And they didn't get it. And so we had to wait for another burger to show up. Because when the guy came in, we said we need another one with no cheese. And he said, oh, okay, my bad. We're on the plane back, right? And we're going through security. And there's like, there's this family with like 3 toddlers and like an infant. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm praying they're not on our flight. Like, I'm sitting there praying they're not on our flight, right? Because I hate when people bring kids on planes. Because it is so loud the entire time. We get on the flight, and I'm seat 16D and 16E, right? We're aisle and middle. And there was actually nobody next to us, which was great, because then I could, like, half, like, lay down. To my left, on the other aisle, is a mother who's pregnant, her infant, a 5-year-old, a dad, and a 3-year-old. 4 seats in front of that are 2 more toddlers. The most crying I have ever heard on any flight I've ever been on. And I've been on so many flights. Dude, at one point, I'm trying to sleep, and, like, I'm sleeping a bit, and, like, 5 minutes go by of just, Mama! Mama! And I look over, and the dad has his earbuds blasting a fucking movie, just holding this crying kid. Not even bouncing it, not even trying to make it stop crying, just holding the kid. Just like watching the movie. And this kid's just manically, snot running down its face, tears everywhere, just crying. Crying so much, and he just doesn't give a fuck. Right? And if I'm the dad, I'm doing the same damn thing. But if I'm the dad, I'm not bringing that damn kid on the flight no matter what. Yo, you gotta be, and I'm like, why are you in Mexico? How is that even a fun fucking trip? You have a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a fucking toddler and a kid on the way. And you're like, let's go to Cancun. Let's go to Playa del Carmen, Mexico, where I can't drink. And I have fucking toddlers I have to take care of that can't eat most of the fucking food. You gotta be a fucking idiot to think that's a good goddamn trip. Anyways, the plane ends, or the flight ends. And we're walking off the plane. One of my friends is near the front, and he's next to one of the kids that's crying. And he said, he was like, I was this close to grabbing the fucking kid. I was like, what do you mean? He said, I almost threw he was like, I swear to God, I almost threw the kid. Like, I was freaking the fuck out. Because it was a 4-hour flight. Also, there was a car crash. On the way to the airport, there was a car crash. A full car under the bus. I should have taken a picture. 2 people died. They were on. We drove past them. They were like wrapped up. 2 people died in some car crash like 5 minutes before we were leaving. It was fucking crazy. They had to be going like 100 miles an hour easy. They were under the bus, like flattened. Yeah, rip. I would never bring a kid on a plane. That and they just let it cry the whole time. They didn't even try to they didn't even try to make it stop crying or apologize to anybody around that bitch. I would be like, I'm so sorry. Everybody around me at the end of the flight, I would be like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. They did not give a fuck. One of my friends is talking to like somebody next to them on the flight, and they're like, I would never bring a kid on a flight. And the dad's just hearing this whole conversation. Like, I hate when kids cry. He's just saying that, and the dad's just sitting there like unfazed. I'm like, dude, I was about to say something to the parents. Why the hell did you go to Mexico when you have fucking 3 toddlers and an infant and a kid on the fucking way, dude? And you thought that would be a fun goddamn trip. Yeah, well, let's go on a plane with them. Anyways, that was the trip. Then I got home. We were chilling. Melon it for the sub. The worst part of the trip was the fact that I had the shits for like a good margin of the trip. All right, let's lock in here. Chat. First video of the day. We'll actually do a rundown of the reacts we have.
Protein's being injected into every single food that I see in the supermarket, and it's
of your mom. Today's video is sponsored by Simply Safe. There's no safe like Simply Safe. Protein, one of the internet's most fervent obsessions.
This buffalo chicken quesadilla has 100 grams of protein.
This high-protein pizza will change your life.
High-protein cheesecake.
Protein strawberry mousse.
Protein cookie dough.
We're making protein peanut butter balls.
All you do is take a container of cottage cheese, add some cottage cheese.
1 cup of cottage cheese.
Pat of cottage cheese.
Blended cottage cheese.
Cottage cheese.
Cottage cheese. Cottage cheese. Cottage cheese. Some cottage cheese. Cottage cheese. And a cup of cottage cheese. Then sweetener of choice, I use
Cottage cheese.
Cup of cottage cheese.
Cottage cheese and
cottage cheese.
You're gonna want to make these.
But all of this got me thinking, what actually is protein? And how do I get everyone to stop yelling at me about it? So I decided to consult my friend Justin. He's been a weightlifter and nutrition coach for several years now, and he's also the only person I've ever met with the exact same physique as me.
All right, so what is protein, and how much do I actually need?
Protein's an essential.
I'm zoning out. I mean, can you blame me, though? This guy is boring as fuck.
I need you to pay attention to me, all right? Now listen, we have macronutrients, right? Protein,
Why did I fly across the country for this? We could have just done this on Zoom.
Look at me.
I gotta be smarter about how I spend my money, man. I haven't uploaded a video in like 3 months. The last one I posted got demonetized just because I accidentally made cocaine sound fun.
I think I'm actually just gonna Google it.
Protein is the part of food that helps you build and maintain muscle. It's how guys like Justin and I have gotten jacked out of our mind. No, I know this may come as a surprise to you, but I'm not actually jacked. I've just been lying about it for years. But if I'm allowed to be somewhat vulnerable here on my own YouTube channel, it has been a goal of mine recently to not constantly hate the body that I'm stuck in. I've been in what I would describe as suboptimal shape for pretty much my entire cognitive existence. Like ever since I was old enough to be self-conscious about my body, I was and have continued to be every day for 20 years. And I think like a lot of people, I've always had this thought of, well, you know, eventually I'll be better about that. You know, it's not gonna be this way forever. And then a lot of time passes and you realize it doesn't really matter what you intended on doing if you never ended up doing it. And to be fair, you know, a lot of us grew up during a time where the messaging around fitness was a little toxic, and also just shrouded where the messaging around fitness was a little toxic, and also just shrouded in misinformation. Remember Slim Fast? I used to drink those after I ate because I thought it would like undo the calories I consumed. That's not how that works. Remember when Subway sandwiches were treated as like the healthiest thing a person could eat just because one guy had big pants? That's not how that works. Also could eat just because one guy had big pants. That's not how that works. Also, whatever happened to him? I feel like he's never in commercials anymore. And I don't mean to imply that there's not still conflicting and confusing information out there. There's no shortage of people who will try to sell you on a miracle diet that somehow only they know about and science just hasn't caught on to yet. But I think there's also more useful information readily available now than at any other point in history. Just on YouTube alone, you've got Jeff Nipples, Lean Beef Patty, that guy who looks like if a thumb learned how to blink. And the main thing I've learned from watching all these people and talking to my friend Justin, who's so hot but so boring, is that, oh my God, you have to eat so much protein. You can't just go to the gym, throw back a bottle of muscle milk, and call it a day. It kind of has to be the thing you plan your entire diet around. Like, I've been trying to eat about 150 grams per day, and it turns out it's actually incredibly easy to come nowhere close to hitting that number. Even if you're very deliberate about eating eggs and chicken and salmon for every meal, it can be hard to reach that quota without supplementing it in some way. So this is where protein products play a really important role in rounding out your diet. The only problem with those is that, I don't know, 90% of them suck. They always take like an hour to chew, and they never taste like the thing they try to say that they will. Come to think of it, are there any other products besides protein bars where they're allowed to just put a photo of a completely different food on the box?
That cheesecake looks really good. Is that what's in there? No, that's just what we wanted it to taste like. Oh. Well, does it? Not even a little bit.
And on top of that, they're all so expensive that you have to blow a bunch of money before you can even find out that it's terrible. So anyway, here's my goal for this video. Okay, I see ads for protein bars constantly. I am going to buy every single one of them. It doesn't matter how much it costs or if it even looks like something I would like. If I see an ad for it, I'm gonna buy it and eat it, and if you're lucky, I might even spit it out on camera. That way, if you're curious about one of these things, you can indulge in my suffering and maybe even save yourself some money in the process. Another reason I wanted to make this video is because I'm fascinated by how protein has become increasingly used at times solely as a marketing buzzword, in the same way that like vegan and gluten-free have for foods that already were those things before more people started seeking them out. But now they cost more money because of all the boxes they check. Why would anyone choose to eat this boring old regular apple when our premium version has no added sugar and is vegetarian friendly? It even comes with this sticker that guarantees it's never been used as a torture device. Weird, I don't see that sticker anywhere on regular apple, and I have to say, your silence is deafening. So there's a lot of products that tack on what I like to call the protein tax. Many companies have realized that by putting the word front and center on their packaging, they can get away away with charging more for what is often exactly the same thing. This protein pasta is more than 1.5 times the cost of the regular version from that same brand. That's a pretty significant price difference, but I do like protein, and this one has 10 grams per serving. Before I buy it though, I'm curious, how much does the regular pasta have? Surely it's nowhere close to 10, right? Because it's so much more expensive. 7. 3 grams? That's what we're making a big stink about? I saw this ad pop up and I was intrigued because I like the idea of protein snacks that aren't just trying to be a dessert replacement. And then you go to their website and they're like, high protein super snack. Whoa, this is incredible. 11 grams per serving, only 100 calories. These guys are wizards. How did they do it? But I was curious if they supplement it in any way or if that's just how edamame beans are naturally. So I found a random brand on Amazon and saw that it has 14 grams of protein per 130 calories. So for all intents and purposes, it is exactly the same. There is no difference between these two products, except this one costs 37 cents per ounce, and this one costs $1.76. Almost 5 times more expensive for exactly the same thing. They just market it differently. This is a vegan, low-carb, high-protein superfood. And this is just a bag of nuts. I know I'm probably not telling you anything that you don't already know, that marketing can be deceptive and is easily swayed by whatever's popular at any given time. But it's still something that I have to remind myself of because I can be very stupid. I can know that I'm probably being tricked and still fall for it anyway. Like with this one, I saw 36 grams of protein and I was like, damn, that's crazy. Turns out it is crazy. It's crazy to advertise the total amount of protein in something that has 9 servings. This flavor only has 3 grams per serving. That's not a protein snack. A donut has 3 grams of protein. I mean, I gotta buy this though. The flavor is unapologetic. Good, I'm so tired of biting into foods that are like, I'm sorry I taste like this. I didn't want to. I guess I also have to try out Khloe Kardashian's new protein popcorn.
Cloud popcorn, my protein popcorn.
What was the idea of putting a protein on a popcorn?
Money.
I feel like this website is so emblematic of what I'm talking about here. This scroll of brags that just goes on forever. Gluten-free? Wow. Just like every other popcorn ever made. Real ingredients. I love that as a tag because it's so vague. I mean, technically, every ingredient is real in that it exists. I'm sure they mean something along the lines of like all natural, but saying something is made with real ingredients doesn't mean it's made without whatever the opposite is. It just means that some of it is real. You could put this sentence on just about any food. I mean, this one has sodium phosphate in it, which in pill form is prescribed as a laxative for people who are about to get a colonoscopy. Does that count as a real ingredient? I mean, why list it here but not here? And I'm not even saying I care about this. I've never looked out for sodium phosphate. It's a very common preservative in a lot of foods. I'm only pointing it out because it's like, yeah, maybe these buzzwords don't actually mean anything. The guy in this video has talked a bunch in the past about how much you should avoid this substance.
Here's public enemy number 1 when it comes to deli meat: sodium phosphate.
But then suddenly he turns the other way when he gets a chance to work with Big Kardashian. I guess my point is I don't know what to care about when I'm looking at a list of ingredients, and it's exhausting to try and figure it out. And sometimes this bombardment of arbitrary certifications listed on every food item that's supposed to help you quickly identify things at a glance just makes me feel more skeptical. I feel like the more stuff you're bragging about, the more you must be trying to distract me from something. I think the effect it's had on me is that ultimately I've adopted this like blissful ignorance when it comes to chemicals and preservatives and standing too close to the microwave because I like to watch my food spin around. I think step 1 is to just find things you like eating that are mostly healthy, that fit into your diet, and then later down the line, you can start to get a little bit pickier about ingredients once you've established a good foundation.
Loser Bites new protein brownies come in 2 flavors and 2 sizes, chocolate and cookies and cream.
Okay, I get what they mean by the loser thing, that they're talking about losing weight.
But I still feel like we're getting off on the wrong foot here.
Hey, dumbass. You wanna buy a little cupcake thing? Yeah, I bet you do, you stupid bitch. Also, this image is 100% AI generated. You can tell because it doesn't have the right number of fingers. I'm gonna try out these protein donuts because they look really good. Unfortunately, they don't come like that. You have to make them yourself, which is fine, obviously, because you guys know I'm a very good chef. Plus, according to them, it's the best tasting protein on earth. Then what reason would they have to lie? Oh, it looks like they've got a video of their happy customers.
Maybe they're still working on that.
Sorry, I have to rant about how every website is exactly the same now. You walk in the door, they're already yelling at you about cookies. Do you want all of them, or just most of them? Like 6 months, or 12 months? Okay, hold on. You can't just say no cookies. You have to do some of them. Come on, man. Don't you want to join the Bean Squad? We'll give you 1% off if you let us text you for the rest of your life. This item is hot. We just sold 15. 38 people are looking at it right now, and one of them just added it to their cart. Ooh, you should probably do that too before this button slides right off the screen. There's so many symbols and check marks on all of these websites that are supposed to make everything seem more legit, but I don't even know what some of this means. As you can see here, there are exactly 38 reviews. Trust us. We count. And we're honored to say we have 100 points of diamond authenticity.
I like how the opacity on these ratings gets lower the further you go down. I think some people gave it 1 star,